Good morning, everyone. Today our topic is software development life cycle (SDLC). SDLC is a process used by software development organizations to plan, design, develop, test, deploy, and maintain software applications. In nowadays, SDLC used in every software development company because it is the root of the development cycle. And the software development life cycle explains the different stages of software development. There is specific programming language framework important. It covers the planning, building, deployment, and the maintenance of the software. The SDLC delivers high quality software by creating it in a systematic manner. Proper planning is an essential aspect of the software development life cycle. You will learn the basic components of the SDLC. We will show you how these phases can be implemented to manage any the development effort successfully. And lastly, we will review some of the most popular software development lifecycle methodologies. The need for SDLC methodologies dates back to the 1950s. At the time, words like framework used and approach really didn't exist in the context of software development. Since the software engineers have thought to create and implement development methods to accelerate software development, now SDLC use it to reduce time to time market while building in software for clients. And all software development life cycle models involves various stages. That is requirement stage and design stage, implementation stage, testing stage, deployment stage, and maintenance stage. And these are several reasons why organizations use a software development life cycle SDLC when developing software applications. And to provide a structured and organized approach to software development, the SDLC provides a framework for managing the software development process and which helps to ensure that all necessary steps are taken that the final product meets the requirements. And first one, to ensure that the software is of high quality. And SDLC includes testing and quality assurance phases, which helps to ensure that the software free of bugs and it meets the requirements. And second one, to manage risks and cost. It helps organizing to identify and manage risks early in the development process, which can help to reduce cost and minimize the impact of any issues that to arise and to improve communication and collaboration. To improve communication and collaboration, the SDLC helps to ensure that all stakeholders, including customers, end users, and developers, are involved in the development process and that their needs are taken into account and to improve efficiency and productivity. It helps organizations to optimize the use of resources and streamline the development process, which can improve efficiency and productivity. And fifth one, to increase the likelihood of a successful project outcomes, following well-defined SDLC process can greatly increase the chances of success of the project. As a process guides the team towards the goal in a systematic and efficient way. Overall, the SDLC is a valuable tool of organizations. That's why nowadays each and every software industry using SDLC life cycle used when developing software application as it helps to ensure that the final product of high quality meets the requirement and is delivered on time and within budget. And in SDLC, these are the six phases are there. Those are nothing but requirement phase and design phase, implementation, testing, deployment, maintenance. In this in the software development life cycle, mainly use requirement phase, design phase, implementation phase. And from testing onwards, we'll use the STLC structure. STLC means software testing life cycle. First, we'll discuss about the requirement stage. What is requirement stage? Requirement gathering is nothing but in this stage, terms should be collect all relevant information from the client, and it is nothing but in this requirement stage we'll gather the information what project will get, and client they use the information to develop the product and ensuring that they meet client expectations or not. First we'll gather the all information regarding about the project what we'll get, and a description of what they want the software to be, or the end user, and the purpose, what is the purpose of that project. And once they have gathered and understood the information, they should produce it the SDS document. The software development team should read the document and ask any of the questions. They will then pass on the document to the client. This way, the client can verify that the project is well understood by the team and can hold on the document for future purpose. And next one, design design phase. In this design phase, there are two types: LLD, low level design, and high level design. And at this point, the requirements from the SRS document are referenced to create the software as a client. The project manager will decide on the approach that the team will take and outline a practicing model. In this design phase, um, we'll get the project right. What we in that project, how to design. First, they will decide the architecture of the project. They will plan the architecture of the process. And next stage, third one, implementation or coding. In this implementation stage, development team will implement the coding source code. And this phase begins after the developer receives the design document, and that at this point the design is translated into source code. This is when software developers go in and implement the code. And after this the implementation and coding stage, next one is testing phase. In this testing phase, once the development team has started the coding, they releases the modules. What modules they release? Once that they develop the code and send it to the testing team. Testing team will test the all tickets what we'll get from the clients for the project. And next one is the deployment. We'll go after testing phase. We'll go to the deployment. Deployment means final production stage, and then final one is maintenance one. And this is the brief view structure of the SDLC model. In these six stages, we'll mainly focus on these models. In stage one, planning and requirement analysis phase, we'll follow the planning model and define project scope and set objective and goals and resource plan. In stage two, defining requirements phase, defining functional requirement, technical requirement, requirement reviews, and up. In stage three, design. First, design, HLD, high level design, low level design. Stage for development, development, coding standards, scalable code, version control, and code review. In stage 5, testing, system testing, manual testing, automated testing. And deployment and maintenance stage. Deployment and maintenance module is a release planning, deployment automation, maintenance, and feedback. And stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4 are included in the SDLC structure. And stage 5 and stage 6 are mainly included in the SDLC. There is nothing but software development, software testing life cycle. See, first one is requirement. Already we discussed before. Right? In this phase involves gathering the information about the software requirements from the stakeholders such as customers, end users, and the business analysts. In this design phase, there are two ways, HLD and LLD. It gives the HLD means it gives the architecture of software products, and LLD describes how each and every feature in the product should work and every component. And next one, implementation of coding stage. In this implementation and coding stage, usually in several iterations, and this phase is also called as development. Things you need to know about this phase. This is the longest phase in SDLC. Why? Because in this implementation only we'll develop the code. This phase consists of front end, middleware, back end. In front end stage, development of coding is done. I mean, development team will develop the code. And in middleware, they connect both the front end and back end developers. In the back end stage, what the database we want, the database is created in the backend stage. And testing. The software is thoroughly tested to ensure that it meets the requirements and works correctly. This is testing phase is also very important. For the above stages, and development team will work on that. In testing phase, testing team will work on this testing phase. Uh, we'll get the tickets in this testing phase. And final one, fifth one, deployment. After successful testing, the software is deployed to a production environment and made available to end users and maintenance. Sixth one, this phase includes ongoing support, bug fixes, and updates to the software. This is all about SDLC, software development life cycle. Coming to SDLC, software testing life cycle. In this software testing life cycle, it consists of five phases. phases. Test planning, test case development, test environment setup, test execution, test closure. What is STLC? First of all, it is a systematic approach to testing a software application to ensure that it meets the requirement and is free of defects. It is a process that follows a series of steps or phases, and each phase has specific objectives and deliverables. The STLC is used to ensure that the software is of high quality, reliable, and meets the needs of the end users. See, in the SDLC phase, here after implementation is we have the testing phase, right? In this testing phase, first test planning will get the requirement from clients, right? First of all, we'll split the requirement to the sub modules. In that sub modules, we'll create a tickets for that. First, we'll plan the test planning for that ticket. What requirement is there? First, we'll create the test cases for that. After that, for each and every ticket, we'll create the test cases in the test planning stage. And second one, test case development. In this test case development, in first stage, we'll create the test cases, right? So that in test case development phase, we'll develop the what will wrote the test cases, we'll develop the test cases in development stage. And after this, in this stage, we'll get any defects, we'll raise a ticket to the developers and they will rectify the issues and they will clarify the issues and close the tickets. And in this test environment setup, in this test environment setup, testing team will not included in this test environment setup. Developers will include the test environment setup stage. They will set up the environment for the deployment and test execution. In the deployment stage also, we'll do the testing, different types of testing. And in UAT stage, user acceptance testing stage. And final one, test closure. In test closure, we'll close the all tickets in this stage without any bugs, any issues. See, test planning, test case development, test environment setup, test execution, test closure. And test planning activities are preparation of test plan. Already we discussed before, and strategy document of various types of testing, test tool selection, test step for estimation, a resource planning and determining roles and responsibilities, training requirement, and test case development activities. Create test cases, automation scripts if applicable only, we'll do the automation testing. Otherwise, we'll do the manual testing and review and baseline test case and scripts. Create test data if test environment is available. And deliverables of test case development, test cases of scripts and test data and test environment setup. Already I told you, right? Testing team to include in that test environment setup stage. And test environment setup activities are understand the required architecture, environment setup, and prepare hardware and software requirement list for the test environment. Set up test environment and test data. Perform smoke test on the build. Deliverables of test environment setup. Environment ready with the test data. Setup smoke test results. In this test environment setup stage also we'll do the testing in UAT environment. User acceptance testing. In this also we'll do the different types of testings and test execution phase. In this test execution activities are execute test as per plan. As as per plan, execute the tickets one by one without any issues. Document test results of log defects for failed cases. Map defects to test cases in RTM. Retest the defect fixes. And defects also will test will retest the defects also if it working or not in the UAT environment. Track the defects to closure and deliverables of test execution. Completed RTM with the execution status. Test case updated with results, defect reports, and test cycle closer. In this test cycle closer, activities are evaluate cycle completion criteria based on type, test coverage, cost, software, critical business objectives, quality, prepare test matrices based on the above parameters. In this test closure process, we'll prepare the test matrices. So what we'll do in this process, how much time those tickets will do for the testing and documents the learning out of the project. Prepare test closure report. For test closure also will do the report. To prepare the report also and qualitative and quantitative reporting of what are the flaws are there, what's the uses and advantages, disadvantages. Report also will do quality of the work product to the customer. Test result analysis to find out the defect distribution by type and severity. Deliverables of test cycle closure, test closure report, testament. We must prepare the test closure report in this final stage, test cycle closure stage. Test matrices also will prepare. This is all about SDLC and SDLC structure. Thank you.